What is going on? Welcome to Party on Broad. Today we're breaking down everything Eagles versus Steelers, talking some Eagles versus Panthers. Eagles move on to 11-2, but there were some struggles. It was an up and down game, a frustrating game. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, some ugly. Joining us, he is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. What's up, Ryan?
Not much. Ready to dive into this game that was a lot closer than we all wanted it to be. And listen, I don't think there's any panic here, but there are definitely some things that need to be discussed.
Yep, there's a couple of things that I kind of want to get a feel for your panic button meter. Also joining us, he is Rob Lange at Philly_Madness. What's up, Rob?
For once, me and Ryan are in full agreement. I don't think it's panic button mode. I do think there's a couple things that I wish hadn't gone down, but I think that was an ultimate NFL ebbs and flows, stuck in between two powerhouse opponents. And you let your guard down a little bit offensively and defensively. I know they only gave 16 points, but I don't want everyone to act. I didn't think the defense had a exceptionally good game either yesterday. So let's break it down. I'm all for it.
All right, let's talk our top takeaways between the Eagles and the Panthers. I can find it. Where the heck is it? There it is. Guys, if you're watching us live, be sure to comment your thoughts on the game. Leo says collapse number 2. The drama has started. Tech says Sirianni's most important job is to squash the beef between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. I'll throw it to you, Ryan. What was your top takeaway against the Panthers?
Yeah, it was. I think Rob said it best. It was, everybody likes to use the trap, game lingo, but that's kind of what it was. It was, playing down to an opponent that, let's be honest, has been kind of the laughing stock of this league for the last couple of years. And, the last couple of 3 or 4 games, they've actually been playing rather well. They've been in games, they've been fighting, they've been busting their butts, and, it's commendable, honestly. And so I think, sometimes when you play lesser opponents, and you look at them, you're like, man, there's no part of us that isn't better than them. You almost kind of relax a little bit. And I think that's probably what happened is they came out a little too relaxed, typical slow start and all, but, that carried on for a little too long. In fact, for most of the game. But I think it was just kind of one of those things where you come off of a stretch of, tough games. You finally have a nice opponent that you think you can relax on, and boom, they're not ready to play dead. They're playing tough, and that's kind of just, I think, what it was. I think the other main thing to kind of happen after the game is there's all the media filled drama that is this A.J. Brown stuff that people are trying to blow up to be something more than it is. He has every right to be frustrated. They're, second or second to last or last in most passing categories. And he's an elite wide receiver. And, he wants the ball. And he's right when he says it takes a little bit to, it's tough to get into a rhythm when he's not getting balls. And we're a running team right now. So there's got to be a fine line where, maybe we make sure everybody's cool. But, I just didn't like the fact that we're, even letting the media get a hold of something so that they can blow it up.
I'm glad you brought up the Panthers too, as well, because there was a video going out of Eagles fans leaving the stadium like pissed off about how they did not blow out the Carolina Panthers. Like I talked about it on Party on Broad last week. I talked about it on Birds of the Roundtable last week. When I was looking at the last 4 or 5 games of the Panthers, they were hanging. And it was not a the first stretch of the season Carolina Panthers team. Their last 4 games, a 1-point win against the Saints, 3-point win against the Giants, 3-point loss against the Chiefs, a 3-point loss against the Bucks. And then when I looked at like their offensive line, Bryce Young, wasn't getting down on the ground very often. And I'm not surprised whatsoever. My score prediction was right on it. And but anyway, long story short, this Panthers team goes as Bryce Young goes, and I'm honestly just glad to see him having fun out there. I was glad to see him doing his thing. He kind of had a little bad luck. Some of those could have been catches, but I thought he played a very good game. He was tough. He was throwing on the move. He did have at least one overthrow that I can remember, but I thought Bryce Young was really good. Rob, what was your takeaway?
Well, yeah, I thought Bryce Young was really good, and I thought he extended a lot of plays. When the Eagles had good you think about that play in the end zone, that 4th down play that he ends up completing the long pass to Leggett, when Josh Sweat just misses the sack, and then he throws it just over the hands of Darius Slay. A lot of things going on there. But the Panthers have been in a lot of games this year, especially as of late. So all that. But I will say, if there is a concern, it's that the passing game does need to be better. And that starts with 2 guys, and it starts with Jalen Hurts, and it starts with Kellen Moore. Listen, I don't know why it's happened, and I'm not going to speculate, because we could say it's because Jalen isn't comfortable. We could say because Kellen doesn't call the plays. Every one of their passes is a curl, a slant, or a fly pattern. That's it. That's it. They don't go over the middle on that 15 to 20-yard crosser. They don't run the levels crossers the way that they need to with guys such as Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And as much as it's okay that A.J. Brown is pissed off, you've now been here 4 years, my man. You got to know that your words are going to carry weight, right? You got to understand that when someone asks you what to do, if you want to say the passing game, say the passing game. By just saying passing, it doesn't matter if we think we know what you mean. If you mean something different, the world is going to jump on that and say, there's only one dude that passes the football.
Right.
And his name is Jalen Hurts. So you got to be better there. Because, yes, I thought Jalen was bad yesterday. I thought Kellen Moore's play calling was a travesty. Mm-hmm. There were too many times early in that game on 2nd and shorts where you just watched Saquon gain 6 yards, where it became a pass play. There were too many times where you're checking out of it, or you're calling a designed run to Jalen Hurts when you don't need to, because Saquon is getting 6-7 yards a carry. So for me, it's, hey, okay, we made some mistakes. We got away with it this week, but let's not turn this into last season where it's like every win you're going, and let's not turn it into, oh no, things are looking bad. Let's start talking in the media and all this other stuff. Let's get back to business. And you know what? You got to turn around quickly, because you got a tough test coming in here from a defensive side in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know that their offense is playing better. That doesn't worry me as much, I got to be honest. But this defense will get to the quarterback. You can't take 5 sacks on the 9 slowest pass rushes of the week. Okay? 3.5, 4-second pass rushes should not net 5 sacks. That is solely on the quarterback, and Jalen's got to be better than that.
Yep, I absolutely agree. Krabby says the Panthers proved that you're not always what your record says you are, no matter what short-sighted nonsense Bill Parcells says. Yeah, I thought the Panthers played hard. I thought they won in the trenches for the most part. And I do think there were times of miscommunication from the Eagles' offensive line and pass protection. They had really awesome flashes with their run blocking, but it was just a hot mess top to bottom. I don't think it's fair to pinpoint everything, all the blame on Jalen Hurts whatsoever. How about Saquon Barkley? Saquon really was fantastic. Yet again, the amount of plays he makes out of that backfield is just ridiculous, man. Like, I think he needs like 121, 124 yards per game to finish the year as the all-time rushing leader. And it's pretty fantastic that the last game of the season is against the New York Giants. I hope he plays. But, man, what a redemption story. And my other take is Zach Bond. I think Zach Bond consistently shows that he's an all-pro, man. He's now got 129 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 3 pass deflections. If he adds 47 more tackles this season, he's going to double his combined tackle output during his previous 4 seasons with the Saints. He's just been the story of the year in many regards as the best linebacker in football. Krabby says, I wish I could take everyone back to the 60s and 70s. I was 20 years old before I ever saw a meaningful Eagles game in December. I'll take a weak win against a questionable opponent.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you guys, but like the vibes of that game were not good, man. The one thing where the ball batted and it went in the middle of the field and went right into the hands of Adam Thielen. Like the refs were horrible yet again. There were just so many things that weren't going the way for the Philadelphia Eagles. This was a game they lose in 2023 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, either a game they lose or a game that they win, because it felt like a 2023 win at times where you were just like, like this is just painful to watch. Yeah. Just, find a way to get out of there. But that's how every win was in 2023, not the ninth of a 9-game winning streak. So I'm not ready to do what a lot of people are doing, which is say, we're back to last year yet. Yeah. By the way, the 2 other names, Jalen Carter is a damn stud still. The guy just continues week in and week out. And Quinyanamo Bay did not have his welcome to the NFL moment because they don't throw at him ever. Ever. Cooper DeJean got a little bit of a welcome to the NFL moment. You can't do it to Quinyanamo. You can't do it to him. You can't throw at the kid. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Cooper DeJean had his first struggles of the season, and that's okay. It's okay. No one should be hitting the panic button whatsoever. Yeah. Any other comments before we get into storylines?
No, we're good.
Krabby says, I don't like the bitch about the rest, but
they've been bad all season, Mike. It's just the quality of ref has just gone downhill. Like, are we like not paying them? Did they like pull the pension from under them? Like, what's going on? Like, it's every single ref and every single game and blatant things that are missed. Like Calcaterra almost got his head ripped off. And you look at every other game around the league. I've Sunday ticket. I watch a lot of football, and it's in every single game. So, like, I'm with you, Krabby Oldman. I don't like bitching about the refs, but like, it's everywhere. It's like a disease right now.
Krabby says all season. Don't post this per Twitter. DeJean's kryptonite is covering white guys. All right, let's get to top matchups and storylines to watch. Watching this Simpsons Cowboys versus
awesome.
They're basically on ice skates out there, just sliding around.
It's fantastic.
I love it. All right, let's get to top matchups, top storylines. Heading into this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Eagles are 11-2, but Pittsburgh is now 10-3 after a 27-14 win over the Browns in their second matchup Let's get to top storylines and matchups. Ryan, lead us off, man.
Yeah, listen, this Pittsburgh defense has a lot of really good players, and it's really going to be most important that our run game be established. It's been our bread and butter all year, and the Steelers are a great defense overall, not just pass, not just run, it's everything. So I'm going to be paying attention to Saquon versus the rush defense of Pittsburgh because, if we can't establish that, I mean, let's be honest, the passing game, while has all the tools, has everything that you need, has been a little inconsistent, especially when we need to rely on it. That's when it kind of is a little shaky. So I'd be a little scared if first half Saquon can't do anything. Then I was going to say then we need a miracle. So
a lot of people were saying, and me especially, during the post-game show and during the game, I was like, you can't do this crap against a quality team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at their stats in the first quarter. The Steelers are not a good scoring team in the first quarter either, which should make you feel a little happier. Rob, do you have a storyline or matchup to watch?
Yeah, as much as what my counterpart up there, Ryan, says is true, we need to get the running game going. To me, it's going to be all about that pass rush and TJ Watt versus how quick Jalen Hurts can get the ball out of his hand.
Yep.
And in an effective way. Listen, okay, I'm about to say something that a lot of people may disagree with, and they're going to yell at me for. Jalen, it is okay if you throw an interception. It is okay if you throw an interception. The guy does not have to be wide open with no one within 10 yards of him for you to throw the guy the ball.
True.
But you've got to start forcing the issue a little bit. I'm not saying every time, but there were multiple times where A.J. Brown was considered open by NFL standards across the middle of the field, and Jalen didn't go to him last week. You've got to do it. And not only do you got to do it, in my opinion, you got to pick on Joey Porter Jr. Not because he's not good, but because there is not a guy that no one has held as much as Joey Porter Jr. since Al Harris back in the day for the Philadelphia Eagles, who the reason defensive holding is a penalty is because of Al Harris. Joey Porter Jr. is going to get up, he's going to grab, he's going to do all that stuff, get him in some penalty trouble early. You've got to get rid of the ball quick. You cannot let TJ Watt and the rest of that front feast on you, because if they do, it will be a long day and the Eagles will have a loss.
Yep. Steelers pass rush, they are top 5 in pass rush win rate, number 1 in quarterback knockdowns with 55 this season. They're also bottom tier in blitz percentage at 21.9%. Unlike the Panthers, who like the blitz, the Steelers are a team that get pressure without it. TJ Watt is 11th best in the league with a 19% pass rush win rate. Keanu Benton, remember him, Ryan? Big fan of his during the draft process. He's having a really good year. He's 9th best among defensive tackles with 11% pass rush win rate. So that was my top matchup to watch. I don't really need to talk about TJ Watt. We all know how ridiculous the guy is.
A little good.
Storyline, I'm going to go. I mean, you could talk about Jake Elliott, but
can I just interject here?
Do it, man.
Can we talk about why Nick Sirianni still has and listen, I'm a big Nick supporter. I thought everybody was crazy for wanting to get him fired last year. So I'm on his side. But one thing the Philadelphia Eagles have been doing fantastic this year, and this is what has led us to multiple wins, is the fact that we are able to adjust at halftime or during the game to what we're doing well versus what they aren't. And well, guess what? We're not starting out games very well. So Nick, the first 15 plays suck ass. Get away, let Kellen take over, and let Kellen do his thing. Let him figure it out because it can't get any worse. We are literally averaging less than we're averaging what 1.3 points in the first quarter. 1.3. We're by far the worst. The Bears are at 1.5. We're worse than the Bears. This is dysfunctional. It's disrespectful. It needs to stop. Adjust. Learn to adjust. Get out of there and let Kellen take over.
Hot take, Ryan.
Sorry.
They're Kellen Moore's plays. That's my hot take. And why do I say that? Because later in the game, in plays where we feel like Saquon should be getting the ball, he's not. So I'm not saying Nick Sirianni has nothing to do with it, but I think Kellen's got way more to do with that 15 than he's letting on right now. I really do. He's not running the ball, and I don't know if it's because they're trying to get Jalen into a rhythm, but like you said, Ryan, and I agree, it ain't working. Do what's going to get you there.
Guess what? You're right. The whole reason why it's not working, I don't care. I don't care if it's Nick. I don't care if it's Kellen. I don't care if Vic Fangio kicks down the door and his old man says, I'm doing this. I don't care who it is. It's got to change. Just change it up. It's not working. It's awful. It's literally going to get us into trouble come playoff time.
It's the pattern is out, and yeah, it's fixable, but we're in heading into week 15, I think. Is it week 15? I don't know. 14 or 15, one of those two.
We're 11-2. So that's 13. We have a bye, 14.
So 15?
17. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, heading into week 15, and I mean, how much are they going to change? How much are they realistically going to change things up? It's increasingly more frustrating when you know what works and you've seen it work. When they run play action, they do target the middle of the field. Yeah, it's out of Jalen Hurts' comfort zone. It does look good when they run mesh, when they do the slants, when they do do the rub routes, all that stuff. It works. They just abandon it, and it shouldn't be part of the playbook, late in the second quarter. It makes no sense. I don't understand. There was one play yesterday, I said this on the post game, where it was 3rd and long, and it was 3 curl routes that were 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Not a chance to get that down. Yeah. Not a chance.
And he's late he was late with those throws too. So
very late.
Yeah.
Very late.
Curl routes clearly ain't your thing there, Jalen, and that's all right.
Yeah.
Start working on some slants. That shit.
It's the best play they have outside of the brotherly shove, and they don't go to it. It makes no sense. But anyway. All right, let's get to our Eagles fill in the blank. All right, the Eagles will beat the Steelers because, for me, I'm going time of possession. The Steelers are number 1 in the NFL in time of possession. They own the clock 54+% of the time on average. For reference, the Eagles are 4th best in the NFL at 52%. We saw the Carolina Panthers get a little success in this area against the Birds. 7 of 16 on 3rd down. 3 of 5 on 4th down. They own the rock 55% of the game last week. It's a hard thing to do to be efficient against a Vic Fangio defense, but the Panthers were able to do it. And credit to their offensive line, credit to the refs. But anyway, it was a solid game by the Panthers, I think, especially in the trenches. And they were able to control the clock way more than I expected. So for me, it's all about Steelers versus Eagles and who can, cement their will in the trenches. What about you, Rob? What's your Eagles will win because?
The Eagles will win because the defense will be able to make Pittsburgh one-dimensional. And what I mean by that is they're going to be able to stop the run. If they can stop the run and put this game into Russell Wilson's hands, I feel a lot better about it. Not just because it's Russell Wilson, but just because, they don't have the greatest pass catchers in the world. I know that George Pickens may be back. You don't know. That injury kind of creeped up late last week. But if you can take away their power game, which is what Pittsburgh has been known for all these years under Mike Tomlin, and you force them one-dimensional, you give your offense time to get it rolling, and then eventually I think the Eagles will score more points than the Pittsburgh Steelers. But in my opinion, as much as we could talk about the Eagles offense versus Steelers defense, and, I'm sure we will bring that up again. To me, I think if you can make the Steelers offense lean too heavily on Russ, that's when the Eagles have the chance to win the football game. Even if Russ has owned the Eagles in his career.
I was about to add, anybody nervous about the Russell Wilson factor? Anybody?
I mean,
this guy gave me nightmares for a good stretch of time.
Right,
Yeah.
sure. And that was how many years ago? 10 years ago? I'm not saying that Russ can't be Russ and have himself a game. But guess what? I don't think we're that defense. We're not that defense to do it against. So you can do it against Cleveland, sure. You're not doing it against us. I'll tell you that. Listen, to kind of piggyback about the time of possession thing, yeah, absolutely. I think it's establishing the run game and running it down their throats, and that certainly goes hand in hand, with time of possession. But I think if we are able to, run down their throats, that'll hopefully open up the passing game, and we'll be able to hit some shots down, because we haven't been doing that. We haven't been taking our shots. So yeah, that's certainly that's we need to keep relying on Saquon, because that's why we've been winning.
Mike says, when will the fan base start to realize that Jalen is an average quarterback? Any thoughts on that?
Well, they can't. They won't, because that's not true. So,
listen, I don't know if it.
I'm not saying he's a stud, but he's
Eagles
not
fans know what Jalen is. I do believe most Eagles fans understand what Jalen is right now.
I understand the limits.
Yeah, 100%.
At some point, I would like to see him throw a receiver open. That'd be nice. He's playing scared. You can't play scared no matter who the competition is. You can't be, fixated on turnover-worthy plays. You got to let it rip, man. You got to let it rip. And I just saw a guy that was clearly playing way too hesitant. I saw the immaculate reception. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. Young made our defense look bad at times. Wilson can do the same. They just could not get home at all.
Yeah, listen, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they underestimated the Panthers. They clearly, this was one of those games where you're in between the Ravens, you're in between the Steelers, you're looking ahead, you're tired from the last game. You go, oh, the Panthers, please, come on. They've been dead last for the last 3 or 4 years. They're a bum franchise. So I just think that's the reason why. Personally, I'm not worried about it. I'm not ready to jump off a bridge. I'm not ready to be like, oh, great, this is where it all falls apart. They obviously need to step back up and realize that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a legit team, and they cannot, in any fashion, play like they played at all this past Sunday if they expect to win. So if they know that and they go into this week practicing that way, they'll be fine.
Yeah, and when it comes to it, I look like you have this team that played the Ravens and the Rams, and I'm trying to think of the way that they played the Commanders. Right, that's 3 or 4 games of that type of play. Right. This is one game of this type of play. This is not, and I get it. I get where the fans' minds go because of what last year did to us. It scarred us 100%. But if you remember, every one of those wins was this like, oh my God. I mean, every week there was there was a Xavier Legette drop. Remember the drop against Kansas City that year?
Oh yeah,
There was something. Yeah, there was something like that every single win. You just felt dirty after every win.
Awful. Yeah.
That was not the case this year. This win, and honestly, the Cleveland win. I don't count the Jaguars win because I'll just say that game was just like got drunk. But this game in the Cleveland win did not feel great. But I'm not ready to sound the alarms yet. I'm just not ready to do that.
No, and it's totally exacerbated by the fact that the Panthers are, and have been a really bad franchise. So everything looks worse. The fact that, oh no, we didn't win by 34 points. Oh man, we must be the worst team in the world. Yeah, you know what? It wasn't a great game. Everybody had their bad game, but guess what? We're still that team that found a way to win, ugly or not, and let's move on. Now, if this starts to become a trend, then all right, then we can talk about it.
Keep in mind, it was only 2 weeks ago where Detroit had to win on a last-second field goal against the Chicago Bears.
Right.
This happens all over the NFL.
Everybody is coming for us.
The 12 and
the hottest team in the league.
Yeah, the 12-1 Kansas City Chiefs are finding new ways to almost blow games every single week.
Yeah.
So we can settle down for a minute.
Yeah.
Lisa Simpson just had a huge catch.
I really cannot wait to go watch this because
big catch. And I love how their first down graphic is a box of donuts, and they throw like the little bear claw in the middle that says first down.
I can't get with this idea if we didn't win by enough. KC has had a season of bad games. Period.
Same.
Yeah.
Period. All right. Let's get into our top X factors to watch. How is Dallas being the Bengals?
Bart, Lisa, and the small chubby kid are all in the game for this play.
Ralph?
Is that his name? It's funny. Like, I've obviously watched The Simpsons, but I was never like a religious watcher of The Simpsons ever. Not that I didn't like it. I just never did. Just never did.
I got it. It's also been on for 70 years. So
a little chubby kid just caught a touchdown.
I think he was Jamar Chase then, right?
Ralph threw a touchdown. I have no idea.
Yeah, Bart threw the touchdown to Ralph.
That's impossible.
Bart threw the touchdown to Ralph, and man.
I will say, like, 90s Simpsons was just peak time.
Classic.
Like, they didn't miss.
They did not miss. I agree.
It was so good. From the characters to the music to everything.
It's not bad for a kid whose first helmet was a mixing bowl. He got stuck on his head. I don't know who they've announced it. This is great. Sorry. I digress.
X
factors to watch. Ryan, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Cam Jurgens.
Okay. Interesting.
Listen, this this Pittsburgh pass rush is elite. I mean, not only do you have, Watt, you have Hayward, you have Herbig, you have what's the other linebacker? Highsmith. Hayward. No, Highsmith. Anyway, they got a bunch of guys. Yeah, they got a bunch of guys that are going to come after Jalen. And listen, it is going to be extremely important that Cam solidifies this line, calls out everything that he needs to call out, and protects Jalen as much as possible. Because as you said, they are the tops and getting to the quarterback. They really are. So that is going to be paramount for the Philadelphia Eagles to give Jalen just enough time to get the ball out or to make those decisions to run or to hand off. So Cam is going to have a great game, personally.
I'm very happy to see Brian Pumper, our buddy who joins us every week, come in with his positivity. He's come in super positive today.
So positive.
As expected, as advertised.
Right.
So thank you, Pumper, for that. We much appreciate.
Yeah, right. That's it's been missed.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Don't win against Russell.
I mean, you're right. We couldn't beat Seattle, and if our lives depended on it for a time period. So
no, we cannot.
Text saying Gainwell is his X factor against Steelers. Rob, do you have an X
I'm
factor?
waiting for him to score.
This is really off the cuff, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it as Cooper DeJean, but I'm going to do it as the punt returner.
Ooh.
I'm going to do Cooper DeJean punt returner.
So all of his defensive prowess
doesn't matter. Does not matter. Doesn't matter.
It's his first pick.
Well, no, and that's fine if he does, but I don't know if you guys yelled at me for picking obvious X factor. So like defensive X factor, I don't know if he could be the defensive X factor anymore, but as a punt returner, as a guy who can maybe change field position, break him, and if he by some chance breaks one for a touchdown, oh baby, that would be huge for this team. Some special teams action, some positive special teams action. So I will go with Cooper DeJean, punt returner.
Shout out to Braden Mann too. We didn't talk about him.
Oh yeah,
2 weeks in a row.
Where were you guys on the punt?
I was definitely team punt.
I was team punt too. I mean, I get what people are saying that, regardless, they didn't have any timeouts and it's Bryce Young and this and that.
Yeah.
But Jake Elliott had been so bad.
He was not. Yeah. He was
not last night, not yesterday.
Why are we talking about Tobias Harris? What is going on with the chat?
What happens? He could see Sixers win 2 in a few games here, and Embiid drops 31. Everybody wants to talk Sixers again, baby.
I don't even know the Sixers are still on.
They're not for a week. What the hell is this scheduling by the NBA?
Are they really? Is that true?
They don't play till Friday. There's one game tonight. Then they have the two of the quarterfinals tomorrow, 2 of the quarterfinals the next day.
That's crazy.
Like, it's stupid.
Yeah, George Pickens, I think, is fighting a hamstring injury. So
I don't know if he's officially out, but I know he was a late scratch.
Yeah, very late.
So that to me, usually when that happens, that means I'm resting this game so I can be ready for the following game. So
unless you're T. Higgins, who that happened to, and then he didn't play for like 4 weeks.
Oh well, yeah, that's also true.
My X factor is Calvin Austin Jr. Tobias is all over the chat right now.
Yeah, that's gross.
Awesome run
and
on the
Gainwell and the chat. That's also gross.
Pickens has a grade 2 hamstring. That sucks. Jalen Hurts is Tobias Harris. Overpaid disappointment. My God.
Wow. He's extra positive today.
Dude, I am so glad I wasn't watching the game of Pumper yesterday.
Jeez.
Must have been morbid as all hell.
I'll go Tristan McCollum. Tristan McCollum for my X factor. Really struggled against the Panthers. He had 3 missed tackles. He allowed 1 reception on 2 targets for 13 yards. Nothing great, but also nothing great in coverage. Grade-wise, tackle-wise, coverage. Man, thank God C.J. Gardner-Johnson is back because the safety position is struggling at this time right now.
I hope Reed gets back sooner rather than later. I think they missed him. As crazy as it sounds, I think they missed Reed.
For sure. All right, let's get into score predictions against the Steelers. Score predictions. Rob, what's your gut feeling right now?
Gut feeling is they come back and have a strong performance. I think the defense plays better. I think the offense is good, not great, but good. I think Saquon touches the pay dirt. I will say the Eagles win 24, let's say 20, 24-20 Birds.
That's literally where my head's at. That's really I will change it up. Ryan, what's your gut feeling right now the day after?
I'm going to go 30-28 Birds. Another close one.
High scoring affair.
Man, not the game you want Jake Elliott kind of on the struggle bus right now.
Yeah.
35-16. Steelers get the W. Wowzers. I do think the Eagles play a much better game against the Steelers. I was right on Rob's prediction, so I will just shake it up and say 26-17. 26-17. Much better game from the defense and the offense. So that wraps it up. Guys, we are going live in just a few seconds for our second show of the evening. We have a special
Yeah, baby.
guest joining, and we are previewing the college football playoff. We're doing a fantasy football draft, doing our picks and previews. Ryan, anything you want to plug? Final thoughts.
Yeah. You can obviously follow me right there on X. Make sure you're following the Eagles Pinpool Network. Wherever you get your podcasts, we have 9 shows now during the week. So check it out. It includes my old new show, new to the network, old as in I've been doing it for way too long. Football Smack Talk show every Wednesday live at 5:30. But usually it'll be Thursday by the time it hits the podcast feed. Other than that, Birds of the Round Table, you know the drill, Tuesdays at 8. And then, of course, this crazy show, Party on Broad. Normally we do the college version Sunday, early morning or mid-morning, but we're switching that now to right after. So make sure you're following Party on Broad on YouTube, and tell your friends, tell your family, and tell your coworkers.
Or don't tell any of them, whatever you want to do.
No, tell everybody. make a reply to all when you do the company email, and then just throw the links in.
Oh, okay.
Company wide, baby. Let's go.
Wow, we got some Oregon Duck fans in the chat. That's
Get the hell out of here, you fools.
They look pretty
Sorry.
good, man. They look pretty
yeah.
good.
I tell you what, their defense plays like that against. They better shore up that defense.
Well, listen, we're going to talk about it in just a second. So
Yeah.
don't you worry.
Rob, any final thoughts?
Yeah, you follow me, Philly_Madness. Catch me here. Catch me when I just do these random shows like I am doing tonight, because I was super excited when I was when Dibes brought it up to me. I was like, yeah, I want to talk about it. This is probably the most college football I've watched in years.
Cool.
2 Saturdays ago, when I did not have the kids, I came home and literally sat on my couch from 12:30 to 12:30 and just watched college football.
Nice.
Little nap in between, not gonna lie to you, little nappy nap. But, you know, it was it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about a little bit about it.
Let's
All
go.
right, guys. Absolutely. We are wrapping it up. We'll be live in just a few minutes. Thank you to everyone for the comments. They were awesome. As always, he is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. That there is Rob Lange at Philly_Madness. I'm Dibes. For Ryan, for Rob, for myself, stay awesome.